Shostakovich's Fifth Symphony was sort of his public apology to the government at the time. When Stalin listened to his earlier works, they were considered to be too modern and too atonal, and he was called unpatriotic, which at that point in the Soviet Union was not just a criticism, but it was actually a death threat. And Shostakovich's Fourth Symphony was withdrawn from performance, and it was never performed again until after the fall of the Soviet Union. He began work on his Fifth Symphony right away, and within the bounds set up by the government for him, he was able to use these notes with these happy melodies, but was able to represent the strife of the people. And one of my favorite examples of this is in the second movement. It's a scherzo, and he uses this waltz melody. Dim, bum, bum, bim, bum, 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 bim, bim, bum, 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 bim, 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 bim. And it's this very light, bouncy, short staccato notes, and it's happy, but he puts it in the darkest and deepest instruments in the orchestra, the cellos, basses, bassoon, and the contrabassoon, which I will be playing for you today. And it's just this wonderful way where he's able to represent the agony that he's feeling while still writing this happy music. There's a wonderful quote that I like. Boris Pasternak, after listening to the first performance of Shostakovich's Fifth Symphony, wrote, "He went and said everything, and no one did anything to him for
it." So I'll be performing the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto. I find that it's a really fun piece to perform because it's a massive piece, and it's scored for a big orchestra, and it's large in scale, and I mean in time. It takes almost 40 minutes to play, and also it's a massive in its emotional scope, and then it takes you through a whole journey. I mean, just the first movement alone in 20 minutes has every emotion that you can think of, and it's classical in the sense that it's scored, so the soloist and orchestra are in adversarial roles, and you hear that throughout the concerto, where the orchestra will say, no, it's this way, this is the way we play, and then the soloist will come in and say, actually, you know, we're going to take some more time here, and I'm going to set the tempo. So it's, in that way, it's a very fun piece to perform. What comes after that is a kind of balletic chase music, and Tchaikovsky is most known, he's most famous for his ballet music, Nutcracker, Sleeping Beauty, etc. And the third movement has most of that feeling. You could even imagine it being scored with, you know, male dancers pirouetting. And there's even a slow Russian dance in the middle, a very heavy kind of counterpoint to the virtuosic music. Tchaikovsky wrote this piece in 1878, and he was recovering from his failed marriage. He wrote the piece at a villa in Switzerland where he was, you know, eating good food and drinking good wine and just taking care of himself emotionally. And he was actually working on a piano sonata at the time, but a former violin student of his came and visited him and played Lalo's Symphony Espagnole for him. And that's actually a piece that was played earlier this season by Jeff Myers. And Tchaikovsky was so inspired by this light and brilliant, composing this really fun rhythmic piece that he wanted to do something like that. And it actually inspired him so much that he wrote the whole piece in 2 weeks. And it actually wasn't played for 3 years because of dedication problems, but it's now one of the most famous and most often played concertos.